I was wondering, you had the opportunity to interview so many women that worked before this idea of supermodel, as well as you interviewed women who worked under this idea of supermodel. And I was wondering if you have a sense if that's going to shift anytime soon, if there's going to be a new idea of what modeling is. What's that like?
My feeling is that it's changed so much since the days of these women, that the world today of modeling is so corporate, and it doesn't. Those days they were kind of mom and pop designers and mom and pop shops, really, and it was much more intimate. And I think the women were part of those families. I don't think that exists at all today. I think it's much more global, and it's just the models are tissues that just toss them away. That's my sense. I mean, I'm not a fashion photographer, but just talking to these women, that's the way I felt.
Is there a question from the audience? Yes, here in the front.
I was just wondering how your personal conception of beauty changed from before the movie and to after the show.
So the question is, how did your personal conception of beauty change before and after you shot the film?
You know, I don't think it's changed that much. I think I learned a lot, particularly from people like China and Carmen, who were part of a world that I had no knowledge of at all. So that was different. But you know, as a photographer, I'm always dealing with very, very, I wouldn't say always attractive people, but mostly very good-looking people in front of the camera, or very famous people in some way. So fame is good. Good looks and fame are almost the same thing at some point. So I don't think my experience changed that much from the film, but just, I fell in love with the women. I mean, it's really easy to say that. You can't, I mean, you could sit with Isabella Rossellini forever and not be bored. She's so interesting and so lovely and funny and self-deprecating that she's just an extraordinary person. So it was a privilege for me.
Let's start here and then in the back. Go ahead.
Just wondering if there was any people you approached that didn't focus on people being in the movie, and also if there's somebody you really wanted in the movie that wasn't in it.
There were two people. There were two people that I wanted in the film that didn't make it. They wouldn't do it. One was Twiggy, and she wanted money, and I probably should have paid her. But you don't do that in a documentary, and I didn't feel it was appropriate. And I'm sad because she would have added something very special. She is such an iconic figure and was really the beginning of supermodel in a sense. And the other was Verushka, because when I grew up, when I was a teenager, Blow Up was a film, and to me that was like, wow, you know, Verushka. So she just had no interest in doing it, and we reached out to her, and she didn't care. And at the beginning, we weren't an HBO film. We were just a little doc that I was making. And I'm known, I have a lot of other films I've done. I'm well known as a photographer, but still, it was harder getting people in the beginning. Later on, it became easier.